Oh. Hello, everyone. This is Nicholas Swift, and I am presenting about my reflection on Smoking the 20% Project. This slide presentation will recap my learnings and experiences over the past few months, and I hope that you enjoy. When the idea first popped in my head, the following were questions that I had, and I knew that over time my experiences with this project would answer the questions below. About 7 years ago, when I was 25, my grandmother gave me $100, to which I purchased a huge charcoal grill. It's been sitting in my parents' backyard, covered for the past 3 years, never used, in a corner, and I wanted to see if I could bring it back to life. So this project gave me the perfect canvas, a perfect opportunity to make it happen. So how do I go about converting my charcoal grill to a smoker, while still having the ability to use charcoal, kind of like a dual purpose grill? What parts would I need to complete this project? Will I need any additional tools? Where do I find the conversion parts to make the charcoal grill a smoker? What is the best wood for smoking meat, and where do I purchase the wood? What is the ideal temperature to properly smoke the meat? How long will it take me to convert the charcoal grill into a smoker? How long does the meat need to be in the smoker to reach the proper internal temperature to ensure the meat is cooked? And how much effort does it take to monitor the temperature of a smoker? How tasty is the meat, and will I see smoke rings? At first, I posed the question, how do I convert my charcoal grill into a smoker while still having the ability to cook using coals? My goal was again to make this a dual grill, offering the ability to smoke meat while still being able to use charcoal. I have been successful in converting my charcoal grill to a smoker and still have the ability to grill using charcoal. Most dual grills are gas and charcoal, but mine is the best, as cooking with natural mesquite wood or natural charcoal generates great heat, but more importantly adds flavor to the food. What parts would I need to complete this project? Although I am a qualified fabricator and will use some of these skills in converting the charcoal grill to a smoker, I decided to buy a smoker box instead of fabricating one. I purchased a 12-inch charcoal broil smoker. This is the best model I can find, and I lucked out as I got it on sale. The original cost was $45, but I was able to purchase it for $25. In all honesty, I knew that the metal and time of fabrication would have been timely, and this was a great option. The smoker box is sold as an attachment for Char-Broiler Grill model CBBA2 2750/S. I purchased again my old broiler about 7 years ago, so I knew this wouldn't fit. Therefore, I knew I would have to fabricate and modify my current grill to make the box fit. In addition, I knew I would need some piping for the chimney and a few other pieces of metal so I could fabricate the brackets. Will I need any additional tools? As I said earlier, I'm a certified fabricator as I worked for my dad's company for years fabricating and fixing heavy machinery. I have a small shop at my parents' garage, so I have a lot of the tools needed to make the conversion of the grill a success from charcoal to smoker. The only thing I anticipate I need is more cutting and grinding bits for my Dremel. As far as the tools I actually used, I used sandpaper to rough up the grill, the exterior of it, so I could prime it and repaint it to make it look brand new. I used my cordless drill and several different attachments for either drilling holes or screwing things together. I also used my old jigsaw, and that allowed me to cut holes in the grill to put the smoker on the side and to make the hole for the chimney. And I used my Dremel to help grind down the rough parts and reshape the holes. What is the best wood for smoking meat, and where do I purchase it? I discovered the best wood for smoking meat is Western barbecue mesquite flavored wood chips. I love the sweet, smoky smell of the wood and the flavor it provides when it penetrates the food. I found that the wood chips can be purchased in small 5-pound bags at Walmart for around $10, or you can get a 25-pound bag at Home Depot for $30. I prefer the larger pieces of wood instead of chips as they last longer and produce more heat. I believe it is easier to monitor the temperature of the smoker. Now, what is it? What temperature do I smoke meat at, and what is the correct internal temperature of the food when it's cooked? Now, the average range of temperature when smoking meat is from about 200 to 240 degrees Fahrenheit. I found it best to try and keep the temperature around 220 degrees. And to ensure that I got the correct internal temperature of meat, I use an OXO thermometer, which I bought for about $12 from Crate and Barrel. In this slide, you can see a few different types of meat. There's roughly about 10 different types of meat. It gives you the proper smoking temperature, time to complete per pound, and then the given finish temperature for ideal consumption. That way you don't get any illnesses from the meat. Let's get started. Getting that fire started. How much effort does it take to monitor the temperature of smoke over a long period of time? And how long does it take the meat needed to be in the smoker to reach the internal temperature? Two things I'll cover right now. First, I wanted to talk about getting the fire started. This by far was the most challenging part, trying to maintain the perfect temperature. The goal of smoking meat is to expose the meat to a low temperature for a long period of time. I found that trying to maintain an internal smoke temperature of 225 degrees was best. At first, the smoker was slow to build temperature, as I started out only burning just a little bit of mesquite wood. And then, to try to ramp things up, I added some natural charcoal briquettes to help raise the temperature and increase the rate at which the wood burns. My first attempt was a critical fail, as I had an internal temperature of the smoker around 500 degrees with just a few minutes. At least as a fireman, I know I can build a hot fire. To me, it was all about finding the right balance between getting a small fire and then slowly adding more wood to increase the main temperature. The key word is slowly. It's a lot of work, and it shows true dedication to the food. Again, in the previous slide, it talked about how long does it take the meat to be, reached in the smoker, and I said that varies on your type of meat and also varies on the internal temperature of the food. Now, these are just some examples of the food I cooked. The first thing I tried was a smoked tilapia. On my Weebly, I actually posted a brine that's used more commonly for salmon, and it gives a recipe about brining the fish for 4 hours before you actually smoke it to kind of lock in that moistness. The only reason I chose to use tilapia and not salmon is because I'm not a big fan of salmon. It's too fishy. And you can actually see there's that nice white color, the paprika on the outside with the spices, but you see that darker brown kind of smoke ring in there. For Thanksgiving, I decided to smoke some turkey, and you can see that I'm excited. I did it two different ways on the legs. I did one leg with just barbecue sauce, and then the best one by far is the turkey leg wrapped in bacon. You see it at the fair or SeaWorld all the time, and it was outstanding. And then lastly, I smoked some beef brisket. You can tell that Rusty approves. I did about a 3-pound beef brisket, so I smoked it for 4.5 hours, roughly about 225 degrees. And it got Rusty's approval. That's my big yellow lab. He's 7 years old. How tasty the end product was, and did I see smoke rings? I am an avid fan of all things barbecue, and I have tried barbecue restaurants all over San Diego. I would say my food is better. Not trying to sound modest, but I think when it's done in smaller quantities, the food does taste better. Sometimes the big mass-produced barbecue restaurants don't produce or infuse that extra smokiness which is required to really get that nice smoke ring. Smoke rings were visible when I smoked the fish, as I said. I got that brisket to a perfect internal temperature, and it was a nice pink, but had trouble seeing the rings. When I smoked the bacon-wrapped turkey legs, this is by far my best effort. The bacon was beautifully tender, and all the extra fat had moistened the turkey leg. Lastly, I just want to give a special thanks to my dad. This challenge originally started as I stopped by my parents' house, and my mom said that they had for dinner my dad's famous barbecue chicken thighs, and his self-proclaimed barbecue expert. I said, you know what, Dad? Let's go ahead and have a challenge to see whose food's better. The only thing I can say is I was very happy that I got to spend a lot of time building the smoker and was able to enjoy a beer with my dad. I'm so happy that we had the time to do that. Moreover, my son Aiden was playing in the backyard where we were doing it, so he did help out a little bit. He got to see my dad and I build it, and I look forward to sharing more of these skills, fabrication, cooking techniques with him as he gets older. The only thing I was not able to do was really the contest against my dad. Smoking the meat is a long process, and my dad was happy to let me labor over the internal temperature of the meat and the smoker. I know he loves the flavor, but he is content with the propane grill. So I just want to say thank you very much. I had a wonderful time doing this project, and have a great day.